Matt Sluka, UNLV's starting quarterback, abruptly left the team. He claimed a coach promised him $100,000 in NIL deals. These deals never materialized. UNLV countered that Sluka demanded more money after securing the starting quarterback position. This incident exposes the chaotic nature of name, image, and likeness, or NIL, deals in college sports. The lack of clear rules and oversight creates confusion and conflict. Both sides present differing narratives, making it difficult to ascertain the truth. This controversy highlights the urgent need for greater transparency and regulation in NIL agreements. The current system leaves athletes and universities vulnerable to misunderstandings and disputes. A clear framework is needed to protect the interests of all parties involved. The Sluka case epitomizes the Wild West atmosphere surrounding NIL deals. The absence of clear regulations creates a breeding ground for miscommunication and broken promises. The current system lacks the necessary safeguards to prevent exploitation and ensure fairness. The lack of oversight allows for both legitimate and questionable practices to flourish. This makes it challenging to distinguish between genuine NIL opportunities and potentially misleading offers. Athletes may be lured by promises that never materialize, leaving them feeling betrayed and disillusioned. The current NIL landscape resembles a gold rush, with various stakeholders vying for a piece of the pie. This unregulated environment creates instability and uncertainty for athletes, coaches, and universities. A more structured approach is needed to bring order to this chaotic landscape. The UNLV situation underscores the need to treat college athletes as employees. An employment model would provide a clear framework for compensation, benefits, and worker protections. This would address the current power imbalance between athletes and institutions. Recognizing athletes as employees would establish a formal legal relationship, ensuring they receive fair treatment and due process. This would also provide a platform for collective bargaining, allowing athletes to negotiate for better terms and conditions. An employment model would offer greater stability and predictability for both athletes and universities. It would streamline NIL deals, reducing the potential for disputes and misunderstandings. This would create a more professional and equitable environment for all stakeholders. College sports operates under a unique form of unregulated capitalism. The NIL landscape lacks the guardrails and oversight present in other industries. This creates an environment where market forces can run rampant, leading to potential exploitation and ethical concerns. The absence of clear rules and regulations creates an uneven playing field. Some athletes benefit greatly from NIL deals, while others are left behind. This disparity raises questions about fairness and equity within the system. The current NIL model prioritizes profit maximization over the well-being of athletes. This creates a system where financial incentives can outweigh ethical considerations. A more balanced approach is needed to ensure the long-term health and integrity of college sports. Section 5. The impact on players, coaches, and collectives. The current NIL system has a mixed impact on players, coaches, and collectives. Players gain the freedom to monetize their name, image, and likeness, but this newfound freedom also creates challenges. Coaches face roster instability and recruiting difficulties. Collectives operate in a constantly evolving landscape, facing pressure to secure funding and comply with evolving regulations. Players must navigate a complex and often confusing NIL marketplace. They may be approached by various agents, brands, and collectives, each offering different deals and opportunities. This can be overwhelming for young athletes who lack experience in the business world. Coaches struggle to maintain roster stability in the era of NIL. Players may transfer to other schools in pursuit of better NIL deals, creating a constant churn of talent. This makes it difficult for coaches to build cohesive teams and develop long-term strategies. Section 6. The fallout at UNLV. The Sluka incident has created significant fallout for UNLV. The football program is now without its starting quarterback, and the university's reputation has been tarnished. The controversy has also raised questions about UNLV's handling of NIL deals and its relationship with its athletes. The university faces scrutiny from the media, fans, and alumni. The incident has exposed the lack of transparency and accountability within the NIL system. UNLV must take steps to address these issues and rebuild trust with its stakeholders. The fallout from this incident extends beyond UNLV. It serves as a cautionary tale for other universities navigating the NIL landscape. The controversy highlights the importance of clear communication, robust oversight, and ethical decision-making. Section 7. Behind-the-scenes chaos. The UNLV situation is not an isolated incident. Numerous coaches and administrators share stories of misunderstandings, financial disputes, and questionable practices related to NIL deals. These behind-the-scenes issues reveal the widespread dysfunction within the current system. The lack of clear rules and oversight creates an environment ripe for miscommunication and manipulation. Athletes may be pressured into signing unfavorable deals or misled by promises that never materialize. Coaches may feel compelled to engage in unethical practices to secure top recruits. The current system incentivizes behavior that undermines the integrity of college sports. The behind-the-scenes chaos surrounding NIL deals threatens the long-term health of college sports. The lack of transparency and accountability erodes public trust and creates an unsustainable environment. A fundamental shift is needed to address these systemic issues. Section 8. A path to a solution. One potential solution to the NIL chaos is to classify college athletes as employees. This would provide a clear legal framework for compensation, benefits, and worker protections. It would also create a more level playing field and reduce the potential for exploitation. An employment model would allow for collective bargaining, giving athletes a greater voice in determining their terms of employment. This approach would establish a formal employer-employee relationship between universities and athletes. This would clarify the rights and responsibilities of both parties, reducing the potential for disputes and misunderstandings. It would also provide a mechanism for resolving conflicts through established legal channels. While an employment model may present some challenges, it offers a more sustainable and equitable approach to NIL. It would bring much-needed structure and transparency to the current system, protecting the interests of both athletes and universities. Section 9. The NCAA's role. The NCAA has a crucial role to play in addressing the NIL chaos. The organization must establish clear rules and regulations that govern NIL activities. This would provide much-needed guidance for universities and athletes, reducing the potential for confusion and conflict. The NCAA must also enforce these rules consistently and fairly, holding violators accountable. The NCAA's current approach to NIL has been criticized as inadequate and ineffective. The organization has struggled to keep pace with the rapidly evolving NIL landscape. This has created a regulatory vacuum, allowing for widespread inconsistencies and abuses. The NCAA must take a more proactive and decisive approach to NIL regulation. This requires collaboration with universities, athletes, and other stakeholders to develop a comprehensive and enforceable framework. The NCAA's leadership is essential in shaping the future of college sports. Section 10. The future of college sports. The future of college sports hinges on the ability of stakeholders to address the NIL challenges effectively. Failure to do so could lead to further chaos, instability, and potentially irreparable damage to the integrity of college athletics. A more sustainable and equitable system is needed to ensure the long-term health and viability of college sports. The current NIL landscape is unsustainable. The lack of clear rules and oversight creates an environment rife with exploitation and abuse. This undermines the educational mission of universities and diminishes the value of the student-athlete experience. The future of college sports depends on the willingness of universities, athletes, and the NCAA to embrace change. A fundamental shift in mindset is needed to create a system that prioritizes the well-being of athletes while preserving the integrity of college athletics. Section 11. A call for change. The UNLV quarterback controversy serves as a wake-up call. It highlights the urgent need for greater transparency, accountability, and regulation in the NIL landscape. The current system is broken, and a fundamental change is needed to protect the interests of athletes and preserve the integrity of college sports. All stakeholders must work together to create a more sustainable and equitable future for college athletics. The time for inaction is over. Universities, athletes, the NCAA, and other stakeholders must come together to address the NIL challenges head-on. The future of college sports hangs in the balance. A more just and equitable system is within reach. By embracing change and working together, we can create a brighter future for college sports, one that benefits both athletes and institutions.